My friends, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you today could directly affect the size of your check this month, and I don't want you to miss a single word of it. If you are on Social Security retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, or if you receive VA compensation, there have been some very important changes that took effect in 2026, and not enough people are talking about them plainly and honestly. I see the comments every week. Seniors writing and saying they opened their bank statement and the number was different than they expected. Some higher, some lower, and nobody explained why. That stops today. I'm going to sit here with you and walk through every single piece of this update like we're neighbors at the kitchen table, because you deserve to know exactly what's happening with your money. We're going to talk about COLA. We're going to talk about payment schedules. We're going to talk about what's changing for SSI and SSDI recipients specifically. And yes, we're going to talk about some things the government isn't exactly putting in big, bold letters on their website. So stay with me, because this one matters. Let's start at the very beginning, because I know some of you have been hearing the word COLA thrown around, and you just want someone to explain it simply. COLA stands for Cost of Living Adjustment, and it is the annual increase that the Social Security Administration applies to your benefit to help keep up with inflation. Think of it this way. A dollar today doesn't buy what a dollar bought 5 years ago. Groceries cost more. Prescription medications cost more. Gas, utilities, rent, all of it keeps climbing. COLA is Social Security's way of saying, we see that, and we're going to try to keep your check in step with reality. For 2026, the Social Security Administration announced a COLA increase of 2.5%. Now, I want to be honest with you. Some folks were hoping for a bigger number, especially after the 8.7% adjustment we saw back in 2023. But a 2.5% increase is still real money, and for millions of Americans living on fixed incomes, every dollar counts. Let's put some actual numbers on this so it feels real. If you were receiving $1,800 a month in Social Security retirement benefits at the end of 2025, your new 2026 benefit would be approximately $1,145 per month. That's an extra $45 a month, or $540 over the course of the full year. For someone on a tight budget, that's a utility bill. That's a month of groceries. That matters. Now let's talk about supplemental security income, because SSI recipients often get left out of the conversation, and that is just not fair. SSI is the program that supports people who are aged, blind, or disabled and have very limited income and resources. Many of the people receiving SSI are among the most financially vulnerable seniors in this country, and they need to understand exactly what's in their check. For 2026, the maximum federal SSI payment for an individual increased to approximately $967 per month, up from about $943 in 2025. For a married couple where both spouses receive SSI, the combined federal maximum rose to around $1,250 per month. Now, I want you to remember that these are the federal maximums. If you live in a state that supplements federal SSI, and many states do, including California, New York, and several others, your actual check may be higher than those numbers. I always encourage you to call your local Social Security office or log into your My Social Security account to see your personalized benefit amount, because your number may be different from your neighbor's, even if you're both on SSI. There's something else I want to flag for SSI recipients that doesn't get enough attention. If your income changed at all in 2025, even a small part-time job, even a gift of money from a family member, SSA may have adjusted your benefit based on those income reports. This is called an income offset, and it works like this. For every $2 of unearned income you receive above a small threshold, SSA reduces your SSI payment by $1. This can catch people completely off guard when they open their January or February statement and the number is lower than expected. If that happened to you, please don't panic, but do call the SSA, because sometimes these adjustments are made on incomplete information and can be corrected. For those of you receiving Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, the 2.5% COLA applies to your benefit as well, so everything I said about retirement checks applies here. But there are additional 2026 updates that SSDI recipients specifically need to know about. The first is what the SSA calls the Substantial Gainful Activity Threshold, or SGA. This is the monthly earnings limit that determines whether someone on SSDI is considered to be working too much to continue receiving benefits. In 2026, that threshold increased to $1,220 per month for non-blind individuals, up from $1,550 in 2025. For blind individuals, the SGA limit increased to $2,700 per month. This is actually a meaningful update because it gives working SSDI recipients a little more breathing room before their benefits are at risk. If you've been afraid to pick up any kind of part-time work because you didn't want to lose your SSDI, I strongly encourage you to look into the Ticket to Work program and understand your trial work period rights, because SSA has more flexibility built into the system than most people realize. The second update for SSDI recipients involves the trial work period threshold. In 2026, any month in which you earn $1,110 or more counts as a trial work period month. You are allowed 9 of these months within a rolling 60-month window before SSA evaluates whether your work activity has become substantial. This is important for anyone who has been thinking about testing the waters with employment, but is scared of losing their benefits. Please talk to a benefits counselor before you start working. Knowledge here is genuinely protective. Now, let me speak directly to our veterans in the audience, because you deserve your own dedicated moment in this conversation. If you receive VA disability compensation, you also received a cost of living adjustment for 2026, and it mirrors the Social Security COLA, 2.5%. The Department of Veterans Affairs applies the same COLA rate as Social Security by law, so the increase happened automatically for eligible veterans. To put real numbers on this, a veteran receiving a 70% disability rating, which is one of the more common ratings, was receiving approximately $1,716 per month in 2025. With the 2.5% COLA applied, that figure moved to roughly $1,959 per month in 2026. For a 100% disabled veteran, the monthly compensation rose to approximately $3,737 per month for a single veteran with no dependents, and it goes higher if you have a spouse, children, or dependent parents in your household. Here's something I want every veteran watching this to understand. If you are receiving both VA disability compensation and Social Security retirement, or SSDI, you can generally receive both at the same time. These are two separate programs, and they do not offset each other the way some people mistakenly believe. However, and this is important, if you are receiving VA pension, that is means tested and can be affected by other income. VA pension is different from VA disability compensation. Please make sure you know which program you're on, because the rules are very different. Let's talk timing, because I know a lot of you plan your budgets around knowing exactly when your deposit is going to arrive. For March 2026, here is how the Social Security payment schedule works. SSI payments are typically issued on the first of the month. However, because March 1st, 2026 falls on a Sunday, SSI recipients should expect their deposit to arrive on Friday, February 27th, 2026. This is normal. SSA always moves the payment to the preceding business day when the first falls on a weekend or holiday. For Social Security retirement and SSDI recipients, your payment date is determined by your birthday. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of the month, your March payment will arrive on Wednesday, March 11th. If your birthday falls between the 11th and 20th, look for your deposit on Wednesday, March 18th. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st, your payment is scheduled for Wednesday, March 26th. There is one important exception. If you began receiving Social Security benefits before May of 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI, your payment comes on the 3rd of the month, which for March 2026 falls on a Tuesday, March 3rd. Write these dates down. Put them on your refrigerator. Knowing your payment date helps you avoid unnecessary worry if a deposit hasn't hit your account yet. Now I want to share something that many seniors either don't know about or don't think applies to them, and that's the concept of delayed retirement credits. If you have not yet filed for Social Security retirement and you are between the ages of 62 and 70, every year you delay filing past your full retirement age increases your benefit by approximately 8% per year. That means someone who waits until age 70, rather than filing at their full retirement age of 67, could be looking at a benefit that is 24% larger. And that larger base amount is what your COLA increases are calculated on every single year going forward. The compounding effect of that decision is enormous over a long retirement. I also want to mention the Extra Help program for prescription drug costs. If you are on Medicare and your income is limited, you may qualify for a federal subsidy that dramatically reduces what you pay for medications under Medicare Part D. In 2026, the income limits for Extra Help were adjusted upward, which means some people who didn't qualify in prior years may qualify now. This program is administered through the Social Security Administration, and you can apply right through the SSA website or by calling 1-800-772-1213. And for SSI recipients, please look into whether your state has a state pharmaceutical assistance program. Many states quietly offer additional drug cost help on top of the federal Extra Help program, and it's completely separate from Medicaid. Free money that most people never claim simply because they didn't know to ask. Let's have an honest conversation about taxes, because this is an area where I see a lot of confusion. Up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be subject to federal income tax if your combined income, that's your adjusted gross income plus non-taxable interest plus half of your Social Security benefits, exceeds certain thresholds. For an individual filer, that upper threshold is $34,000. For married couples filing jointly, it's $44,000. These thresholds have not been adjusted for inflation in decades, which means more and more seniors are getting pulled into taxable territory, even on modest incomes. With the 2026 COLA increase, some of you who were right at the edge of these thresholds in 2025 may find yourselves crossing them in 2026. I strongly encourage you to sit down with a tax preparer or use a free tax preparation service like AARP TaxAid or the IRS's own VITA program if your income is under $67,000. These are free services staffed by trained volunteers, and they can help you figure out exactly what you owe and whether any deductions or credits can help offset it. My friends, I hope this update felt like the honest conversation it was meant to be. The changes happening in March 2026, the COLA increase, the new SSI maximums, the updated SSDI work thresholds, the VA adjustments, they all add up. And when you understand them, you are in a much stronger position to protect your money, plan your budget, and make smart decisions for yourself and your family. You have earned every single dollar coming to you. Please don't leave any of it on the table. If you found value in today's video, I'd love it if you hit that like button and subscribed so you never miss an update. And if you have a question or you want me to cover something specific in a future video, leave it in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next one.